Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic:
Non-American people. What's a thing that you don't understand about America? Why tax is not included in the price tag. It even gets more annoying for businesses. I have to go through all invoices and receipts quarterly and find any purchases where we weren't charged sales tax and go voluntarily pay it to my state. Pain in the butt. It's the opposite here. We, Edit, my employer, a non-profit, have a tax exemption. So every time someone doesn't know that and goes and pays full price plus tax for something, or a company charges us tax, I have to reach out and do the song and dance to prove our status and get a refund. Why is that one Kansas, but the other one is not Arkansas? America, explain. What do you mean it's ARK answer W? Because we used to speak French Creole in that region. I don't know if that's true, but that's my best guess. Edit. I looked it up and I was correct. Arkansas is the French pronunciation of a Native American tribe. And Florida is a Spanish way of saying flower. Edit. Flowery. Hi, Arkansas resident here. Arkansas ** comes from the term Arkansas, which is a term used to refer to the Quapaw natives. It means south wind. Also, we came before Kansas. Boo. * edit. Arkansas's name comes from the term Arkansas. Another edit. I'm aware Kansas comes from the Kansa tribe. As someone formerly from Arkansas and lives in Kansas City, the state of Kansas, who was late to the party, really loves to hype its own name. Why do public restrooms include a small opening between the doors that allows passersby to see you when you're taking a piss? There are a few reasons for this. 1. You need to be able to see who's outside in case it's a dear friend, bitter rival, and you might want to enjoy a toilet dance together or fight to the death. 2. 98% of all toilet pornography is filmed this way. 3. These passages allow for ventilation. 4. They are made by the lowest bidder and it's cheapest not to close this gap. 5. It's how you tell if they are occupied without knocking. Only one of these answers is probably true. Good luck in your search. Edit. So, this blew up. Thanks Reddit. For clarity, this is a joke post. I was literally sitting on the toilet when I came across this post and I thought I would say something funny. Some people have posted that this was nonsense, and I'm pretty sure they didn't get the joke. Still others have posted realistic answers. To the op, I apologize if this response has confused you further. Read the comments and they definitely have the correct answer. It's probably that you can install them even in the worst uneven floors. Does every worker have to file their own taxes, or am I just confused? You're not confused. It's a pain in the ass. You mean, there's a magical land where someone does that for you? I think most of the world. In Australia, it's all done automatically. The only thing we have to do is log into a website and double check if it's right, then submit it. Takes less than a minute most of the time. I spent a semester in the Midwest in high school, which honestly changed my life. Back at home, I was weird and too much. And I always felt the need to be defensive because the culture in my home country was very critical of anything that was creative or questioned the status quo. But as soon as I got to my new high school in the US, I started making friends left and right. I felt relaxed. I could be myself. And my out-of-the-box qualities were the ones my teammates loved and appreciated about me. I joined a sport. It was the first time I ever felt content with myself and happy with my life, since back at home I was bullied and emotionally, sometimes physically, abused by my own family and classmates. I was like, oh, happiness is possible for me. I had to go back home for another year and a half. And armed with the new self-confidence, I didn't suffer as much anymore. But I returned to the US to finish high school and have been here ever since. Happy crying face. I always say that my Midwestern city feels more like home to me than my old country ever did. People are very kind and non-judgmental. You can go to the grocery store in pajamas, and nobody bats an eye. You can wear any outfit you feel like wearing, and you can have whichever interest. People are supportive. Americans will only hate you if you're rude and inconsiderate to others or don't hold doors open for the people behind you. There's not as much, if any, visual sexual harassment, and I don't constantly fear for my safety as much as I used to in my home country. I don't know how other cultures are, but I sure do love American people. Edit. Oh wow, I'm overwhelmed by all the kindness and awards. Thank you for taking the time to read about my experience and share yours. I wish I could reply to every single one of you, but no, I read everything. I'm going to clear up some questions that came up a lot. I came here from Mexico. I am not white. Both of my parents are Mexican. And when you look at me, you can tell I'm Mexican, and I have an accent too. I'm so sorry some people have experienced racism in the Midwest. It sucks, and it's unfair. That being said, I haven't experienced it, at least where I live. The comments are correct! I live in the Kansas City metropolitan area. I'm glad I was able to describe it so accurately. Lol. Everyone saying that experiencing other countries makes you appreciate the US more is 100% correct. I still keep in contact with some of my real friends from Mexico. And when we talk about work, I feel guilty about how much money I make here without even having a college degree. To put it into perspective, my friend makes 32 Mexican pesos an hour, which is $1.70 for a customer service call center job. She's smarter and more educated than me, yet I make 20 times more because I can legally work in the US. It's not fair. In Mexico, it's really hard to get out of poverty if you don't go to university or you're not born rich. I was lucky to have some family who lived in the KC metro area and opened their home to me. No, the US isn't perfect, and it has issues that I won't deny, but we do have a level of undeniable privilege, and it would benefit everyone to be grateful for it. There are parts of the world way worse than Mexico. Millions of people worldwide are victims of slavery and sex trafficking, concentration camps, etc. It's a fucked up world, but as people who live in the US, we have the privilege to choose to be grateful for what we have. Jobs, money, food, literally anything you can think of, available all the time, shelter, creative outlets and education, freedom, a lot of public resources, nice people if you're in the Midwest and hopefully other cities too. And many more things that I could go on listing. It's simply awesome. And no existence ever is gonna be without suffering. Just because some suffering happens here as well doesn't disqualify all the great things I just mentioned. Taking ourselves out of our heads and seeing a global picture really allows us to see just how lucky we are and helps us live a life full of appreciation because it could always be worse for you. Also, thank you so much to the people who offered to welcome me in their hometowns. I love to travel, so I'll keep y'all in mind if I'm ever close to you. You warm my heart with your kind words and hospitality. Much love to everyone on this thread. As an American, this makes me so happy. These days it is easy to feel disgruntled with our country, but this made me smile. It is so nice that you have found happiness and I am so glad you are here. As a non-American one also think bashing America is cool these days and it makes me sad. Sure, you guys have your issues, but the fact that we know about them and can openly talk about them is actually a good thing. We don't talk nearly enough about much more fucked up things going on in other countries like Muslim concentration camps in China and the such. This is the nicest comment I've ever read about my country. A lot of people trash on it because they've lived the good for so long that they only see the bad. And it's only perpetuated by an internet addiction. I watched a multi-part BBC documentary on the fall of the USSR up to Putin's rise to power using video recordings that span over 10 years. And it was very humbling. I've never experienced the complete financial collapse of my economy. I've never had to accept such rampant corruption and rat fucking of the country by oligarchs as normal. I've never been turned away from the grocery store because they had no food. In comparison, I've had a pretty easy life. And I'd argue most Americans have as well. And have no idea of how it could be so much worse. Edit. For those asking, here's the 7-part series. Get comfy. It's easy to binge. https www.youtube.com/josephdenton6865/videos. Heads up. They were not uploaded in order. So make sure you check the titles. And there's also NSFW dead bodies, nudity and graphic sexual content in a few of them.